The culmination of a 5-year plan, my own tattoo shop, a space where art, hustle, and a whole lot of hard work came together. But it didn't just appear overnight. It started with one of the riskiest moves I ever made. The flip made me $130,000, but instead of blowing it, I decided to bet on myself. This is the story of how I turned that flip into a shop I've always dreamed of having. My life has been built on the idea of independent liberation. If you want something better, you have to go out and make it happen. And yeah, there's gonna be risk, but to live without risk is to risk not living. This story, this shop, is years of quiet skill building, relentless planning, and a risk that could have compromised all the good decisions and money I'd made throughout my 20s. And the only reason it took this long is because I was dead set on owning my own building. That way I didn't have to pressure my artists whenever my landlord raised rent. That way I could truly invest into it and into them without any hesitation. I'm talking, I was so deep into this vision, I knew what the entire shop looked like before I'd ever even step foot into the building. And honestly, outside of that, I think tattoo shops are run the wrong way. And I just wanted to set an example on how we should be ran. There's 400 shops in Michigan and half of them shouldn't be even open. So why not lead by an example and set the standard for ourselves? Let's band together with all the other good shops, show the world what it should be like, and show all the artists what they should be treated like, what kind of home they should have. After selling the Detroit flip, I knew I didn't want another house. I take a lot of pride in building, but I wanted to build my legacy first. I wanted to bring people into my world, express my art, and to create a place with my own rules, my own feel, my own energy. So I started looking, not in Detroit this time. I wanted somewhere quieter, a small town. I knew it'd be much more affordable, and I knew it'd be in line from my house to my jiu-jitsu gym. And that's how I found myself in Tecumseh, Michigan. I found this old commercial building. I saw it and I thought it looked like an old church. Turns out it was built by MDOT, the state of Michigan, so I knew it was built right. And that was a good sell for me. The building also came with 4 acres and it was attached to a river. And I thought I could build a little A-frame down there by the river for like guest spots, tattoo artists and whatnot. I could build a jiu-jitsu gym on the land and, you know, invite world champions out. And I could do all sorts of pretty landscaping and just turn this into a little paradise out here in the middle of the woods. I bought the building for $325,000. From the outside, it didn't look like much, but the inside, it needed everything. This was a full gut and remodel. It needed a new roof. It needed all new plumbing. It needed new floors. It needed everything. It was so much work. I spent an entire summer on it, 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. And thankfully, I had all these friends and family to come out and help me and really got the process down good. And everyone was having a great time. We'd sit by the fire at night and it was a really good bonding experience too. I had so many good memories out of that summer. And even though I sacrificed an entire summer, it was the best sacrifice I could have made. All right, here's a day 1 tour of my property and new tattoo shop, formerly known as Artonic. So day 1, right? I buy the building, I get handed the keys to the building, I walk in, I'm like a kid in a candy store, right? And this place looks like shit and I'm like, it's magic, right? And I'm like walking around looking at all the things I can do. I'm like, this is gonna take me 2 months flat, no problem, maybe 5 days a week. Boy, was I wrong. The space, so like I was so used to doing everything in a 900 square foot house, right? So the space of, 3,000 square feet, everything was triple. And I'm, it wasn't 50 bundles, it was 150 bundles I was carrying up the roof. It wasn't just 100 pound of tiles, it was 5,000 pounds of tiles. It's like everything was multiplied, and that was my biggest delusion. Here I am again with the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Thinking I can accomplish more than I actually can in a given time. So after that starry-eyed phase went away, I'm walking around the outside of the building, I'm looking at the siding and I'm like, ooh, it's a shit brown color and burgundy siding. I'm like, that's got to go immediately. So I went with a more modern look, black and white. The exterior paint job was all done by me. Well, every job was done by me, to clarify. But I thought that this was going to take like $500, maybe $1,000, and it'd take me like a day or two. It ended up being a $4,000 job, and it took me like 2 weeks to paint the entire exterior. It is such a painstaking ass, especially because I used 15 fucking miles of blue tape and it leaked all over the place. So then we had to switch to frog tape and it didn't leak at all. Shout out Frog Tape, sponsor me if you'd like. I really like your tape. None of it leaked. I rented a scissor lift to do the top too, but the scissor lift couldn't go on the grass, so I ended up having this like really shitty ladder contraption.
Oh hell no, man! What the fuck, man?
Ladder contraption, and I don't have health insurance, right? So I'm up there walking the plank, hitting the spray gun, like bing, 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 and then my girlfriend's over here like, this dude's about to die. As soon as I got done with the painting the exterior, I started focusing on the inside. The biggest issues I thought were the bathrooms. They were hideous. And After I had demoed both the bathrooms, I'd realized that for me to accomplish this build in a timely manner, for me to actually open, because I was paying 2 mortgages at once, I couldn't afford both mortgages at the same time, so I really needed to finish the shop. I decided to just move forward with one of the bathrooms, and I left the other bathroom for later, which we will make a video about that build directly after this video. As soon as I got done with demoing the bathrooms, is when I'd realized that the roof needed to be replaced. When I went to go buy it, I was so starry-eyed that I didn't even have it inspected, because I can do most of that myself. And I just inspected the inside, and it seemed to be good to me. And yeah, how'd that work out for you, you fucking idiot? I did the roof next with all my friends and family. It turned out to be like 90 degrees. Hey Jordan, how you feeling? We're sweating our asses off, dying out there, hauling all the bundles up ourselves. As soon as that was done, my friends were finishing out the bathrooms and digging out the floors for the plumbing and whatnot. So it's so important to think about, if you're gonna do some cement cutting in your house or whatever, cover everything you possibly can. Dust gets everywhere, and because I didn't do that, I ended up having to take a power washer to the entire inside of the building afterwards. So learn from my mistakes and cover everything up first. With the help of my cousin, Joey Spence, he came out and helped me lay the cement on the floor. Shout out Grass Lake Concrete. If you need any concrete in Southeast Michigan, shout out to Grass Lake Concrete. As soon as I got done with the cement, I'd started all the drywall process, putting up all the half walls for the artists and figuring out what the best layout for the shop would be. One of the things I'd really wanted to emphasize was giving each artist their own space and a big enough space, while also being able to talk with each other and having a sense of community, which is why we have so many half walls, but we also have rooms as well, because I wanted that private feel as well if you needed it. Right now, we just have all the artists out in the booths area to, you know, keep that sense of community. But if any of you artists out there want to come to Tecumseh, Michigan and work for me, we have plenty of spots out here. One of the biggest things to think about when you're starting a construction process is the order of events, right? So we started all the drywall, did all the painting before we did the floors, because we would have had to cover up the floors had we done that previous to those parts of the project. So it was in our best interest to do all the walls and everything, ceiling down first before we put the floors down. So painting the ceiling, painting everything, you know, doing everything that had to be done until the floors got there. Once the floors got there, I was hurting on time, and I had reached out to a company and they quoted me some like $38,000 to $42,000, and I'm like, holy shit, I cannot afford that. So I ended up doing it myself for about $12,000 with my friends. Same with the roof. The roof was quoted about $35,000, and I did it for $13,000. It ended up taking me 8 days to do the floor too. And one of the big things I learned while doing this much tile is get yourself a little roller board and knee pads. You can put your little mortar buckets on it, and you can scoot around way faster. You can be way more efficient doing your tile with these little knee boards, we're calling them. After I got done with all the tile, I ended up doing all the trim work myself. I went with real wood, just common board, and I routed it out in the back of the garage, which came in very handy for the entire build, and even past the build, because I eventually opened up my own free jiu-jitsu gym inside the tattoo shop, and that's eventually going to be a full gym on the property. I really want to take a moment to shout out everyone that made this dream of mine a reality. I could not have done it without all my friends and family that came out and showed their love and support. That means the world to me. The two biggest people that helped me inside this were my little brother, Jordan Brockman, my older brother, Joe Daring. I also want to thank my cousin, Joey Spence, and a big thank you to all my friends, Anthony Trauber, Tyler Chilson, Carl Dozier, Hunter Moore, Lamar Page, Ryan Ermel, and Anthony Christinas. You guys are the bomb. I love you boys. If there's one thing I learned from this whole process, it's that betting on yourself pays off. It's scary and nobody's going to hand you the blueprint, but if you can see it and you're willing to do the hard work, you can build something amazing out of nothing. Thank you for watching my story, and if you're working on your own dream, don't give up. The day I'd finished the shop, I had $187 to my name, and now I'm doing the best I've ever done in my life. If you enjoyed the shop build video or anything about this, we're gonna follow it up with an extensive build video for our next bathroom. It's gonna be a sauna and shower duo, and we're gonna try to make it a lot more informational if that's more your speed. Check it out, like and subscribe. Thank you.
Good job, Dad.
Thank you.